Some time ago, my TikTok informant informed me of the online presence of this individual here.
Down over to Australia doing a nosedive, keeps going, and now a plane's landing in the South Pole, upside down on its roof. Upside down. I think so. Well, it's flat.
Mark Anthony Reid.
Or who I imaginatively renamed Crocodile Bumby. You know, like Crocodile Dundee because he's Australian.
And we all know there's only one type of Australian person.
Although this is grossly generalising the entire Australian population into one mainstream film series, I feel like this is helpful for the Western audience, because we'll get a bit confused otherwise. Mom, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say the word Australia?
Kangaroos.
Right.
Australia.
Right.
Australian flag.
Right.
Crocodile Dundee.
See? This man literally lives off TikTok lives and cigarettes. He says he doesn't eat food for the health benefit.
I don't even eat food for like 12 or 21 days. I just drown myself with 100 litres of iced coffee.
And if you're ever feeling lonely, just know that Crocodile Bumby is 9,000 miles away from you on the other end of the flat earth, live streaming every single breath, every puff of smoke, every cough, every bungee jump, and every deep sleep. And you can watch for however long you want until he gets told to turn down his music and then he rage quits the stream.
Cough, it's not even loud. Sick of being abused. Show's over.
Smooth like butter. Criminal under.
I'm so sorry, but could you turn that down?
Now I know this generation tend to overuse the term Renaissance man, but I could not find a more fitting term. Where on the internet can you find so much variation in one place?
You like that one, did you? Do you want it or not? Because we're not going to hold on to it all day.
How do you describe him? The term has not yet been invented.
I got this one on the bungee jumping cord.
And just before I go any further, maybe I've misled you. I'm not a frequent viewer of Mark/Crocodile, because TikTok is a disease. But in preparation for this video, I consumed every single fan edit of his live streams in one sitting. There were hundreds and hundreds. And how would I describe the experience? You know when they say before you die, your life flashes before your eyes? Yeah. It was like that. Before I got my advice from Wrangler Star.
This is the first night of me grounding my bed.
But that can only help so much. Through watching Mark, I now believe the earth is flat.
Well, it's flat.
I don't believe in vaccines anymore.
And I'm unvaccinated. I don't believe in that rubbish.
I actually got an empty needle and removed the vaccine from my body. I've also gotten really into rosemary as well.
That's nice.
And don't get me started on bungee jumping. That is now my favourite activity. Okay, I think that intro did Mark Anthony Reid/Crocodile Bumby justice. Now let's watch some of his stuff. Let's try to understand the man behind the live stream.
Hey, Flyer, let's get at the bloody bus stop for goodness sakes. Send me bloody freaking crazy. No, you stupid fly. No! For goodness sakes.
Maybe that isn't the most representative of this TikTok legend. Okay, how about this one? Right. Let's just try one more time.
Excuse me.
I promise, he is actually really interesting to watch. I feel his persona can be broken up into multiple categories. You know, one video does not represent his entire character. The first category is probably health advice. He cannot go 3 minutes without dropping some solid wisdom out of nowhere.
I'm unvaccinated. I have emphysema, bronchitis, stage 3 lung cancer disease, and my lungs look like a hypercoaster gate, like a foggy window. If I don't smoke a cigarette, I lose oxygen and I have a panic attack because I've been smoking since I was 7 and I'm 54. I need to keep smoking cigarettes. I don't even eat food for like 12 or 21 days. I just drown myself with 100 litres of iced coffee. Been doing it for 10 years. I know my body.
He knows his body. Every second watching this video, my perception of reality changes. I'm just living my life, sitting on the toilet, regretting my food choices, and then I'm suddenly tuning into this man with every single recorded disease on planet Earth.
I have emphysema, bronchitis, stage 3 lung cancer disease.
Who has apparently been smoking since the age that I was building dirt houses on Minecraft as if it was my full-time job. Then just as you're in complete awe of this man's personality and presence, he's like,
If I don't smoke a cigarette, I lose oxygen.
and instead of going, yeah, right, smoking to get oxygen in your lungs, I'm basically like Theo Von in an interview, just completely agreeable, as if Mark is an omniscient being.
If I don't smoke a cigarette, I lose oxygen.
Hell, you do that? That's crazy, man.
I don't even eat food
You don't eat food? Well, I guess that makes sense. I wanted to ask, have you ever watched the Crocodile Dundee films?
I think the funniest thing about this video is, it's not any video. He's in a chat room with 3 other people, and he's delivering this beautiful monologue like he's a professor, and these people are just taking it like they paid to be there. While the rest are, I'm not sure what she's doing. Like, they do know they can just leave when they want. During the Australian lockdown, is this what people were given instead of teachers? You might be thinking that I've pushed you lot into the deep end of the Mark Anthony Reid swimming pool. But that's really not true. If anything, this is Mark in his most docile state. He's more unhinged even when he's sleeping.
See, when I hear a noise, I'm up. I'm on standby sleep. All good?
Which is actually a frequent thing on his account. Go ahead, Mark, find a nice comfortable place in the middle of the busy shopping centre. Yeah, right there, Mark. Go on, have a lie down. Yeah. When you tell your mum you want to see Santa Claus for Christmas.
Go ahead, sweetie, sit down right next to him.
But I think he's asleep.
Go on, there's people waiting. What did he give you?
Nothing.
No, I saw he slipped something in your hand.
I told him that for Christmas I wanted my breathing issues to go away, and he gave me this.
A cigarette?
No, Mummy!
No!
I do not endorse child abuse, that was for comedic purposes. It's like he's role-playing as a 1950s doctor.
You're 8 months pregnant. Yes, if you smoke, you'll be perfectly healthy as well as your child.
I feel like if Mark was the one saying that back in the 1950s,
If I don't smoke a cigarette, I lose oxygen.
no mother would take his advice on board.
Not for any specific reason. It's just an assumption.
If I can't get up the hill, I'll have a smoke at the bottom of the hill. Now I can make it up the hill, because now I've got oxygen to get up the hill. Well, I've got no oxygen to get up. I can't breathe. Can't get up the hill. Have a cigarette. As long as I've got my cigarettes, I'm still alive. Take my cigarettes off me, I end up dead. I won't be able to breathe. And whoever takes my cigarettes off me, well, then they murdered me. It's like taking food from a child's mouth and starved him to death. You know what I mean? Same thing. I don't eat food.
Anyway, we've established that cigarettes are good.
They're killing everyone off with vapes. I mean, look at all the accidents that people are having with their lungs from smoking vapes.
Oh, so you don't endorse smoking or vaping?
I'm not going to die of smoking cigarettes anyway. I'll probably die of being killed by my own government because I know too much knowledge.
Right, I get it. Vapes are bad, but cigarettes are good. Okay, I understand.
Please do not take his advice on board. It is absolute balderdash.
I love the ending of this video. He has to drop a bit of government conspiracy in there.
I'll probably die of being killed by my own government because I know too much knowledge.
Stating that he'd sooner be silenced and killed by his government than smoking because he has too much knowledge. Then just like magic, he is suddenly embraced by the warm light of his lighter and goes, I lied. If I was a pregnant woman in the 1950s, if I saw that clip, I'd buy a lifetime supply of cigarettes. And you probably saw this coming, but Mark isn't too keen on the whole vaccinations thing.
And I'm unvaccinated. I don't believe in that rubbish.
And would rather opt for his alternative medicine.
You right? Vaccination time, you beauty. We got him. Hey! Okay, now rub him in dirt. Start building immunity. That's the way. Even though there's no nutrients in that, that's all cracker dust. But it's still good.
Waving his hands amongst some spiderwebs and shouting,
Vaccination time!
I'm quite timid in public, like a deer, but it's constantly in the headlights. Seeing a man talking to himself
Vaccination time, you beauty.
while stuffing his hands into a spiderweb would send me running, let alone them rubbing their hands into the dry, dusty ground. His pure confidence in this clip is amazing. It's the same level of accomplishment that I feel when I don't faint getting the vaccine. But now I know I can just destroy a spider's apartment and wiggle my fingers around some dirt. Also, whoever edited this clip, right at the end they cut to footage from the next day.
My back feels like it's broken. It didn't feel like that yesterday. It's like I've pulled a nerve.
Mark, you didn't pull a nerve. Do you not remember yesterday? Someone has just approached you at the bus stop and you can't leave because your bus is due in 1 minute.
Estrol and glucose is building up inside my intestines. They could overswell like balloons and burst. I wouldn't know that. It's scary shit, really, if you think about it. So maybe I was better start eating some food. Your organs will start eating themselves as you get older because you don't feed them. So they're going to have to eat something. Well, that's true. They can't live on milk Well, that's true.
Right.
So maybe I better force myself to eat because I got to go bungee jumping soon.
Okay.
And I've got to be at least near 46 to 48 kilos to jump.
Right.
And I'm now at 45.6 kilos. By the time I get to Cairns, I'll be 39 kilos. I won't be allowed to jump. Oh, serves myself right. I should have eaten.
So in this clip, Mark starts talking about drinking milk and then turning a certain age where your body starts eating itself, and then he has to be the optimal weight for bungee jumping. And I'm not going to try to understand what he's talking about, but at the same time it just sounds like me making up an answer for a biology exam.
Cholesterol and glucose is building up inside my intestines.
As long as it has some keywords in there, it'll be fine. If everything Mark is saying is true, not eating food, possibly weighing 39 kilograms, regularly terrorizing spiders, smoking, I'm astonished to see him doing so well. He even said himself when he dies, he'll give his body to science.
I tell you what, when I die, I want scientists to cut my chest open and have a look inside. But they're going to freak out when they say, "Where's his lungs? How did this guy breathe?" Exactly.
It makes you think. I love the idea that there's just nothing in there, just bones and decades of smoke.
There's no lungs. How did he breathe? Hang on, what's this? Rosemary? How did that get in there?
That's nice.
So that basically sums up Mark's health and well-being, which I can conclude as questionable. Really questionable. But that only covers the tippy top of the Crocodile Bumby iceberg. He really comes into his own when talking about conspiracies. Anything from 5G towers,
The ugly looking thing sitting there.
to believing the earth is flat.
You know, if the world was round, how come all the railway lines are flat? How come there's no buckles in them? If the world was round, you should have a curvage every 3 miles.
To believing the UK is fake.
Do I think the UK's fake? Why would I want to... Why would you even write me a message like that? You want to get blocked or what? You know the use like saying Australia's fake. How uneducated can you become?
Oh no, yeah, the UK fake, no. That's too far. Imagine that. That was a close one as well, because if he was about to say anything else about the UK being fake, I was going to get Thanos snapped out of existence.
The UK? The UK doesn't exist.
Wait, what?
I'm joking. I'm fine.
As you just saw in that clip before,
If the world was round, you should have a curvage every 3 miles.
me when I've learned that there's a curve every 3 miles. Mark is part of this small underground organisation called Flat Earthers. You might not have heard of them before. Normally in this community, you see people propose interesting points that could almost be convincing. Absolute nonsense, but it could almost sound somewhat believable. However, the moment you see Mark talk about Flat Earth,
If the world was round, you should have a curvage every 3 miles.
you come back to reality and apologise to Brian Cox. I'm so sorry for believing that.
It's alright, I forgive you.
Thank you. The next video though, he does make some solid points.
When I went to Perth, my aeroplane wing was not up like that. I wasn't looking down on the wing, and I wasn't hanging on for 5,000 Ks. Alright, we're on the side of a planet here, side on. I flew flat and level all the way.
Alright, don't be so stupid. The earth is round. 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 The thing is though, sometimes I hear the most nonsensical talking points trying to prove the earth is flat, and I go, wait, yeah, I mean, I don't know how to prove you wrong here. So I suppose you win. Like this clip here where Mark doesn't understand why the earth is spinning so fast, yet we're stood perfectly still.
Move. Well then, if I'm spinning 1,000 miles an hour on a spinning ball, well then I should be able to be walking to you like this. Trying to get to you, but the G-forces are throwing me back to the wall because I'm spinning. And does that make sense? Because if it don't, I ain't repeating myself. God love you, thank you.
I mean, maybe it's the same as when a bee lands on you and you try to flail around to get it off, but it just stands perfectly still. One of the comments said, if the earth is a ball going through space, then why do we see the same stars and constellations? Then I read it and think, this comment has no likes, no replies, yet I'm studying it like it's the most profound piece of literature I've ever laid my eyes upon. Sometimes you're online and you get caught off guard by absolute stupidity.
trying to get to you.
And you almost have to stop and appreciate it like a piece of artwork because it's so stunning. I can't lie though, I did actually have to think about the answer to the question because it confused me at first.
So are
They'll
we,
turn it into
is
28.
the Earth, do you believe the Earth might be a container? What do you think is inside the Earth?
The inner Earth, another civilization, another sun.
Ah.
That is quite enough of that. It's very easy to get lost in the conspiracy source. Oh wait, there's one more clip actually.
But it's not, it's a wall. You see? You can be tricked by formation like that. The same as the GCI photos from NASA.
I have a strong suspicion that before filming this video, he walked straight into that wall like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. And then he had to play it off and turn it into an educational moment.
But today, government wants control. And people need to wake the bloody hell up. Seriously.
You see what I did there? That was my way of showing you how easy it is to get pulled into an illusion.
Like I said, that's how come I put my last phone into a coma.
Mark did what?
And Apple could not even wake it up. Because I put too much information into it, it couldn't think no more. So I'm the first person who ever in the world to put my iPhone into a coma and it went to sleep and never woke up again.
He put his phone into a coma? Imagine that in a world record book.
And Apple is absolutely shocked. They said, we don't know. We can't fix it. It's asleep. It won't wake up. You put it into a coma. They even sent it to their technicians, and even the technicians come back and said, we can't wake it up. It died.
He genuinely thinks he's giving the executive board at Apple sleepless nights over this issue.
We've had to delay the release of the iPhone 16 because Mark's phone is still on an IV drip.
So what happens when you get 500,000 photos of Planet X to try to wake the people up on it?
And then we find out it's because he has 500,000 photos on his phone of Planet X to supposedly wake the people up. Well, Mark, I think we found your problem. Planet X as well. I'm scared that if I looked it up, I'd somehow be pulled into the conspiracy and my entire life philosophy would change. I think this is the exact moment that you realise Mark is living in his own separate universe. A universe where you can protect yourself from a common cold by rubbing your hand in a shrub.
Vaccination time, you beauty.
A universe where you can get in direct contact with the CEO of TikTok as if he's your neighbour.
Someone reported me for nudity violation. I wasn't even naked, everyone. I need to ring the Chinese government, find out who is in TikTok, speak to one of the officers and let them know.
A universe where phones fall into comas.
That's how come I put my last phone into a coma.
And after all this, you might be wondering, what credentials does Mark have? Why do people listen to what he has to say? Why do I listen? Well, because of this.
You see, I'm the black sheep of the family, and I'm the smartest one of all. I'm the most intelligent one in the family out of my siblings. My family don't realise how smart and intelligent I really am. And
if that isn't convincing enough, if you need actual evidence, look at this.
Well, I know my mathematics are a hell of a lot better than a lot of other people's mathematics. Does anyone know what 12 12s are? 144. You know what 12 11s is, don't you? 132. You know what 1 plus 1 is? 2. You know your timetables, your divides, your takeaways and your pluses? Like 12 12 is 144. 3 9s, 27.
Can you do dividing, plussing and minusing? Didn't think so. When I go to bed, on top of thinking about the cost of living, international wars, moments from my past, my most prominent thought is, does Mark have a job? Because it seems that he just stays home and sings in his nondescript Australian flag room.
You gotta swing your hips now. Come on, baby. Say goodbye, my own true lover. And I like your style, sweet Caroline. Because I got up at 4 o'clock this morning and I started trying to yodel, and I started yodeling, and then I decided, I gotta go back to bed. So I went back to bed and I started laying down, started to drift off, and I started just singing a little bit of a yodely-diddly-dee, yodely-diddly-dee.
But then that begs the question, does he live off donations? What's going on there? Whilst editing the video, I randomly clicked on his live stream and recorded what he was saying, and I think it answered my question.
I have nothing. I have no girlfriend, I have no home, I have no car, I have no job.
You know, I'm not trying to punish Mark here. I'm just showing the receipts. I'm showing the evidence. Do I have to? No, not really. Am I? Yeah, I am. It's like he lives life on another plane of existence. And when he's not doing that, he's outside like an Australian Batman dealing with corruption in our society. Taking the police to court?
I tried to take the police to court. They just looked at me like, huh? We'll talk to the hands, stupid.
Giving a police officer the biggest fright of their life.
Hey, you want to say hello to TikTok?
No, thanks, mate.
Okay. Hadn't been rude about it.
Exposing Obama?
Obama? I don't think so, because his real name's Barry Babak, and Bin Laden, and Barack Babak, and Barry Satora. And he also used to go to school with George Bush too, did you know that?
Scaring police officers to different police stations.
Why isn't Mr T isn't at this station? Did he get caught out because I made a complaint to the Commissioner about his corruption? Did he go to another station, did he? Yes. Well, I need to go and tend that station to get him out of that station.
Then hunting the police officer down at a different station.
Yes.
And I'm unvaccinated. I don't believe in that rubbish.
Well, that's your prerogative.
But I still respect you if you are vaccinated, because you should be scared of me.
Vaccinated for what, though?
That's emphysema bronchitis. I've been suffering that for 37 years. I smoked cigarettes for 47 years, had a collapsed lung. I've done 3,347 rides on a hypercoaster, and I'm at 1.4... Over at the Jaco coaster. I do it for calm. Well, I don't take drugs and drink alcohol and gamble.
What's a coaster?
It's a Joker coaster, a roller coaster.
Oh.
I mean, you're an educated officer. You know what a roller coaster is.
Yeah, but you said a Joker coaster.
Yeah, it's called the Joker coaster.
Well, I don't know.
The DC Joker coaster at movie.
All I know is what a roller coaster is.
Mark could make the most intelligent person go off the rails. He somehow got into a debate about types of roller coasters with this random police officer. What's a coaster?
It's a Joker coaster.
What's a Joker coaster?
But you're educated, officer. You should know what a roller coaster is.
But you said a Joker coaster.
It's a roller coaster.
Well, I don't know what a Joker coaster is. All I know is what a roller coaster is. Mark came here to probably dispute getting the vaccine, and then he somehow got into a debate about roller coaster politics.
You're an educated officer. You know what a roller coaster is.
And that's why we love him, folks. That's why we love him. Also, why is there a random Geordie police officer in Perth?
All I know is what a roller coaster is.
That really threw me off.
It's a conspiracy.
I know what a roller coaster is. With all this being said, my favourite version of Mark is World War II speech Mark.
So go yourself sideways, government, because we're coming for yous two-faced fucking maggots. And my apologies, TikTok. I need to speak truth and get truth out. It's time to take these monsters down and get justice and send them to the gallows and hang the bastards.
Now, I could rewrite this joke and be clever about it, or I could just admit that it was in my last video that heavily featured him. You expect a massive crowd in front of him.
Like an old-timey wartime clip.
It's time to take these monsters down and get justice and send them to the gallows.
It's the fiery passion he speaks with, like he's broadcasting to the entire nation.
And you still want to vote these politicians in? Absolutely disgusting. And I'm going to bring this government to its knees. You watch, I will.
But instead he's in his small car on the side of some quiet street speaking to 98 people on TikTok Live.
It's time to take these monsters down and get justice and send them to the gallows.
But then, because this is Mark we're talking about, he goes from rebel leader to transitioning into the Joker.
You think I'm scared of the law system? I can't wait for my dog day in court with this law system. Go! Hang on, I had nothing to do with it. Wim Sorens had nothing to do with me. I've been sitting here. He's my witness.
Now, if the Australian Prime Minister is watching this video right now, tell me the thought of resigning hasn't crossed your mind at least once.
People think I'm scared of the law system.
You really don't want to mess with him. But there is a lighter side to Mark. When he's not fighting corruption and becoming the biggest threat to the Australian government, he's bungee jumping? Honestly, this video feels like such a mess, but it's genuinely so hard to structure this in a way to incorporate every aspect of this man's life. The essence that is Mark. Like, how do I bring up this video where he films himself bungeeing from afar? And then it stops recording midway, and then he starts screaming at his phone with pure rage.
Yeah, this thing freezed up on me, stupid iPhone 8S. Did you see me jump off the roof? The phone was on pause and I got back. sake. Stupid fucking phone, I tell you, I'll throw the in the river. Anyway.
So that was Mark Anthony Reid, Crocodile Bumpy, or Bungee Jump Mark. Just someone we found on the internet, and now I'm sharing it with you. I would link him in the description, but he's been banned countless times, so there's no point really.
Someone reported me for a nudity violation.
Thanks for watching.
But officer, you're educated. You should know what a roller coaster is.
I don't know what a joker coaster is, but I know what a roller coaster is.
I'll just have a draw of it, man, you know.